Kids Leap Island, unlocking every child's potential. Stay connected for your transformational children's stories and fun learning videos.
Once upon a time in the land of Gabizo, there was an animal village where Pig Bomer was the king. One day, the king woke up deeply worried. He knew that he could no longer keep his concerns to himself. On his wife's advice, he assembled all the animals in his kingdom to address them. They all gathered under the iroko tree, outside the palace, eager to know what the king had to say. The pig began in a deep, solemn voice. Something terrible is about to befall Gabizo unless something is done and done quickly. The animals all at once wanted to get involved and asked the king to tell them what the problem was. The pig thanked them for their interest in the progress of Gabizo and continued. My great-grandfather told me that a day will come when the stone of life that was stolen from us in war will return home. It cannot, however, return on its own. Someone strong and trustworthy will embark on the journey to the distant land of Boro to retrieve the stone of life. What awaits the person in Boro, I honestly do not know, but I do know that it is not a journey for the weak. My great-grandfather also told me, the king pig continued, that I will see the sign when the time came, and recently I admit that I have been having disturbing dreams about many of us dying. I think it is time we found the stone of life and bring it back to Gabizo to prevent this catastrophe. Murmuring arose, as all the animals spoke at the same time. The king pig raised a hand to silence them. I am greatly impressed with the willingness shown among us to solve this problem, but we need to act, and act fast. We need volunteers to go to the land of Boro to find the stone and bring it home, he charged them. At once, the elephant arose and stamped his feet heavily on the ground to show off his might. Of course, the elephant was the biggest in the group, and she appeared to be the most suitable for the job. He vowed to go and retrieve the lost stone of life and bring it back to Gabizo. The lion, infuriated by the elephant's bragging, rose at once to challenge him. He reminded the animals that he is the strongest and will always be, and therefore the most suitable for this mission. The eagle walked majestically up to the king and declared herself the most suitable for the mission. She boasted of having the keenest eyes. She also boasted of the strongest wings that could fly the highest heights. To this, many animals nodded in agreement. Eagle, indeed, was a strong bird. The dog rose and boasted like the other two. So did the rabbit and the sheep. By this time, the king was getting confused about who to send. As he considered this, the tortoise stepped forward for the same mission. Wait, what? Unbelievable! Tortoise? Other animals were both puzzled and pissed by the tortoise's decision. The tortoise is neither fast nor strong for this type of mission. And what gave him the audacity, they wondered. He must be dreaming, they thought. Some began to laugh at him, while others, who considered this a grave insult to the king, pounced on the tortoise to beat him up. The king intervened immediately to prevent a fight. With the debate on who was most suitable going on, the king decided that anybody willing to go would be allowed to embark on the mission. Each volunteer animal was given a bag containing a bottle of water and some bread. They had 3 days to prepare before they left for the mission. Elephant, dog, eagle, lion, rabbit continued their normal life waiting for the day. The tortoise, however, visited his grandmother to seek her advice. His grandmother was old and shrewd and had poor sight, but her mind was very sound. The journey is easy if only you can do one thing, the tortoise's grandmother said. And what is that? The tortoise inquired. You must not attend to other things while on this mission. If you do, you will be distracted and will not get to where the stone of life is. All you need is focus, she finished. The tortoise thanked her and went home. He got a pair of comfortable shoes and set them ready for his mission. He was determined not to be distracted, no matter the temptation. On the day of their departure, the other animals bid them farewell and prayed for their safety and the return of the stone of life. They left, each at his or her own pace. The tortoise was behind because of his low speed. At one point, the elephant became thirsty. he fished out his water bottle from his bag and drained the whole content at once. As he continued on the long journey, he became thirsty again. He went to a nearby stream to drink and refill his water bottle. Zap! A crocodile hiding under the water sprang up and pulled the elephant's tusk hard. The elephant fell face down into the water and could not swim. Other crocodiles delightfully gathered and feasted on the elephant. As for the rabbit, she saw a mob of kangaroos hopping about in the fields. The rabbit was completely infatuated with the way kangaroos hop around on their hind legs. Without thought, she said, "I like the way you hop on your hind legs. Can you teach me, please?" "Of course, we can," exclaimed the friendly kangaroos. So, the rabbit relaxed, waiting for his first hopping lesson, and forgot about his mission. The dog, on the other hand, saw a heap of bones by a farmhouse and could not resist the temptation to stop and eat. Without much thought, he sat by the bones and ate as much as he wanted. After that, he fell asleep on that spot. The eagle, however, forgot her water bottle at Gabizo. After a long flight, she became too fatigued and dehydrated to fly. She decided to find some water to drink. On her hunt for water, she met another eagle who promised to help her find some water. After finding water, the other eagle persuaded her to abandon the mission which she believed was worthless. The eagle from Gabizo agreed. The lion became exhausted and famished from the long walk. He never liked bread and would not eat it. Thankfully, he saw a butcher who offered him fresh meat on the condition that he will join him in hunting. The lion quickly agreed and stayed with the kind butcher. The tortoise was the only one remaining on the mission. He was determined to retrieve the stone of life and constantly reminded himself of his grandmother's advice. On his way, he saw a king who promised to give him half his kingdom if he could tell him where to find the stone of life. Half his kingdom? That was incredible. But the tortoise was not deceived because he remembered his grandmother's warning. Again, he was met by a team of warriors who promised him some gold if he could help them dig a tunnel to hide from their enemies. The tortoise was compassionate, but did not heed to their request. By this time, he was tired, and his water was fast running out. Just then, he saw a woman by the well drawing some water, and he asked the woman for water. The woman said she would only give him water on one condition, that is, if he could come to her house. Therefore, the tortoise forfeited the water and continued his journey. Finally, he reached the land of Boro. By this time, he was tired and famished, but he was happy that he made it to Boro. His next question was where to find the stone. Suddenly, he remembered his grandmother's instruction. If you make it to Boro, check your bag. You will find something. Quickly, he opened his bag and, to his amazement, found a precious stone glittering inside it. On touching the stone, a feeling of strength and life came over him. As a result, he was energized to get home quickly. The entire village celebrated his return, and the king honored him with gifts and treasures. By this, the tortoise has demonstrated courage and boldness. He believed in himself and asked questions. More importantly, he stayed focused.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.